In this video we're going to look at some of the simplest rules of indices, and we're going to try and show why the rules work. So the first rule we're going to try and show that it works is that a to the power of b multiplied by a to the power of c can be written as a to the power of b plus c. So when we multiply two terms that are raised to different powers, we can add those powers together. So let's look at an example of, for instance, 2 cubed times 2 squared. And what we're saying is that is the same as 2 to the power of 5. So why would that be the case? Well, what does 2 cubed mean? It means 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. And what does 2 squared mean? Well, it means 2 multiplied by 2. So times 2 times 2. So in total, how many 2's are being multiplied together? Well, I have 5 of them. And we can do this far more simply by using this rule at the top. So how could I use that to simplify expressions such as x to the 8 multiplied by x to the 4? Well, I can simply add those two powers together and rewrite it as x to the power of 12. Now this second rule is saying when we divide, we subtract the powers. And probably that's not too difficult to reason based on the fact that division is the opposite of multiplication, and so we've subtracted instead of added. But how can we show this is the case? Well, let's look at 2 to the power of 5 divided by 2 to the power of 3. So I can write that as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 divided by 2 times 2 times 2. And then I can cancel a 2 on the top and the bottom, and again and again. So what am I left with? Just these two 2's at the top. So 2 times 2 can be written as 2 squared. And so 2 to the 5 divided by 2 to the 3 can be written as 2 squared. And again we can do this algebraically, so let's say x to the power of 7 divided by x to the power of 3 would simply be x to the power of 7 subtract 3, which is x to the power of 4. Now the final rule we're going to look at in this video says that if we raise a number to a power and then raise that to a power, then we can just multiply the two powers together. Again, we're going to look at examples of powers of 2 to see why this works. So we're going to look at 2 to the power of 3 all squared. So what does it mean when we square something? We times it by itself. So we can write this as 2 cubed multiplied by 2 cubed. Now we already know from the first example that we can rewrite this by adding the powers, and that's 2 to the power of 6. Now if I had a different power on the outside, say 2 cubed, what would be different? Well, I'll have 3 lots of 2 cubed, and so when I add the powers I'm adding 3 lots of 3, so I'll have 2 to the power of 9. So when we have a power raised to a power, we simply multiply those two powers together.